I'm Peter Matthews with Firehouse.com. We're here down on the show floor as the final preparations are being made for Firehouse Expo's exhibit floor to open on day 3 on Thursday. Today we're going to take a look at some of the hands-on training offerings that took place around the area. And we're also going to take a look at, we're going to talk with one of the exhibitors as they talk about their preparations and setting up for the show. Reporter Susie Nichols also going to talk with some of the attendees and instructors from today's pre-conference sessions that were held here at the Convention Center and at the Hilton Hotel next door. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to Firehouse.com at 8:30 Eastern Time for the live streaming of the Firehouse Expo keynote and opening ceremonies. You can find that on Firehouse.com, and you can look for the Firehouse Expo landing page with all the content and information from the show this year. So we're here at HandsOn Training. We've run into 2 firefighters from Uniondale, New York. Guys, is this your first time here at HandsOn and the conference?
No, we've been coming every year. The hands-on, it's very helpful, so we'll bring it back to our department and train the others.
I've been in the hands-on training years ago in the past, and it's good to be back to the hands-on training. We get a lot of come down every year for the classroom session, but the hands-on training is crucial to just to develop your technique and things of that nature.
So what do you guys look to do when you return back to Uniondale? You take some of the lessons from here. How do you implement them as a chief and whatnot? How do you implement them into your department as training?
Well, since I'm the assistant chief, I bring it back to the other chief, and then we sit down with the officers and go over the procedures, and then we do a quick department drill on a Sunday or during the weeknights, and then we basically say, okay, this is what we learned. The group that's here now, there's a total of 6 of us, and when we get back, 6 of us is going to go and demonstrate exactly what we learned, and then have the rest of the department follow up.
And can you tell me 1 or 2 of the things that you're going to bring back, even just to the folks on your crew when you get home?
Actually, something I just learned at the last evolution, you could actually use your pike pole to judge the heat in the walls. You could jam it right in through the sheetrock and hold it in there for a few seconds and take it out, and you could feel the tip just to see if you have possibly fire going into the walls, or you could jam it into the ceiling above you, see if there's fire in the ceiling above you, which was a pretty neat trick that I had never seen before. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Hi, Rich. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, Susie. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So how's it going? I understand you taught a leadership class here today?
Yep, we're doing a program called Leaders Toolbox, and we're spending a day talking with volunteer fire service leaders about the traits and qualities and challenges of leading volunteers in today's fire service.
So it's been an interactive day for you?
It has. We've got a really interactive group. We have a topic that we did this morning on understanding Generation Y workers and motivation, and that really got some, I'd say, interesting interaction among the participants, because sometimes we're telling them things that they don't necessarily want to hear about this new generation of worker and the challenges that they bring, and we had some really interesting discussions.
So where are the students from? All over the place?
Yeah, we got a really good mix of folks there. They did their introductions this morning, and they ranged everywhere from Connecticut down through Virginia, North Carolina, Ohio, New York. Pretty good mix. There's a lot of good note taking, a lot of good interaction. I think they're really learning a lot from each other, which is really what we're trying to go for in our pre-conference program, is trying to get them to learn from each other. Because some of those folks, one guy in a class been in for 36 years. And it's impressive that he comes to class after 36 years in the fire service, but we can learn from him as much as he could learn from us. So this interaction, I think our youngest person is like 19, so we got from 36 years fire service to a 19-year-old, and the interaction has been really good, and a lot of learning from each other.
So there are more people than just chiefs. You're officers, potential officers?
Yeah, we got chiefs, commissioners, deputy chiefs, company officers, and firefighters. So we have the full mix. And usually in a leadership class, we just get like the chief officers, but we got everything from firefighter all the way up through elected commissioners.
Understand your instructor. You don't look like our usual instructor. Can tell me who you are and what you're doing here today.
Hi. My name's Cameron Gassaway. I'm dressed like this because I'm here to personify the typical Generation Y worker. We're the new generation of worker coming into the fire service, and I'm here to teach firefighters about our generation, the differences, similarities, and what to expect when we come into the workforce. Generally, when I teach them, they get very fired up because the way my generation, Generation Y, thinks is not how the normal generations think. It doesn't fit their firefighting mold, and they get pretty fired up when I tell them they're going to have to change the way that they think to accommodate us. And it's always a pleasure to see their reaction and help them with their challenges.
So you're a firefighter?
I am. I'm actually an aircraft crash fire rescue firefighter for the U.S. Marine Corps.
So what, I guess, part of your generation is, the electronics and, always being, connected. Is that part of, what you're trying to explain to them?
Absolutely. We're very technologically proficient. We use our cell phones for everything. We can Google the answers to anything, any question that we have. We stay connected via Facebook instead of face-to-face maybe. We use text messaging instead of voice calling or even face-to-face chatting. We're very proficient with technology, and we know how to use it to our advantage.
So what kind of reaction are you getting to this?
Generally, when I'm playing the typical Generation Y worker, people tend to get pretty heated, thinking that, well, where's all the good people at? Why don't they think the same way we do? What is it going to take to change them? And I basically have to shock them into believing that there isn't a way to change us, that we're actually going to change them. And then later on, I turn into a different person, which is the atypical. And generally, when I show them that there is still a decent side to the Generation Y worker, they calm down a little bit, but it really shows them that they're going to have to change in order to prepare for us.
With the volunteer force, declining all over the country, they have to make some concessions to actually attract young people like yourself?
Definitely, after listening to the class, I think they definitely understand that they're going to have to concede a little bit to what we want in order to get us in the firehouse.
Okay, it's Wednesday afternoon, and we're down here on the exhibit floor at Firehouse Expo in Baltimore, and we're going to visit the Peritech booth as they're putting their final preparations on their booth. And we're here with Ken Nielsen. Ken, can you tell me a little bit about some of the efforts that you've had to put forth to get your booth set up, some of the equipment that you brought in, and kind of what you're looking for, the look and feel of your booth?
Okay, well, we tried to do something a little bit different this year by bringing in a sort of a contrasting wood to our manufactured product, and that was a large part of the efforts this morning.
And how many boxes and crates do you have to bring down? How long does it take for the stuff to get shipped here so that you can have everything ready when folks walk in Thursday morning?
It's actually a big process. We usually lay everything out at the factory and make sure everything's in there. We count all the pieces, make sure that it's presentable, and then we pack it up. And each box has its own little packing list, so we know what's in there. It goes into a big binder that we bring with, and then as you can see, all these boxes around here. So we have about 11 boxes of varying sizes and weights. But it was nice. We got here, all the boxes arrived in front of us. We put the rug down and then started on our big project here. But it was fairly painless.
And do you have any new offerings here at Firehouse Expo since last year's show?
Sure, yeah, no, we have a lot of offerings. What you see behind you is what we're calling the absolute raker. It's something that you can use to stabilize a building without having to cut wood, which is a big deal. It's the first in the industry. We have a new controller. We have this absolute raker. Slight modifications to a lot of the equipment. We did a major facelift and mild mechanical improvements to our penetrators.